All right, guys, so here we are, the most anticipated podcast of our little series we got going on. We're going to talk about traveling with a dog, especially traveling Australia. So we hope with this video to inspire others to get out there and travel with the dogs. For us, it's a must, and we're so glad that we are traveling with Rusty.
Let's get into it.
Songs on an air guitar, posing for your picture like a superstar. Yeah, come on.
All right, so let's start by talking a little bit about Rusty.
Rusty is a cattle dog / Kelpie. Rusty is currently 10 years old.
He'll be 10 years old in a couple of days.
10 years old. Amy's had Rusty since she was a puppy, and she's grown up in the backyard in suburbia most of her life until we decided to hit the road.
And we decided that if we were going to go, she was going to come too.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that could leave my dog behind. That's me. And I knew if I left her, it would break her heart because she is my dog, our dog, so.
Yeah, if you ever come to our campsite, you'll know straight away, Rusty is just glued onto Amy. Amy, them two are just the match for each other. I come along and I start telling Rusty off and stuff, so she has come around to loving me as well, but it has taken some time. We'll keep talking about her personality here.
So people might not realise this, but Rusty is not a dog-friendly dog. She does not like other dogs.
And that is possibly one of our biggest challenge with Rusty on the road, is she is not dog-friendly.
She's fine with people, everything else. She'll bark at the occasional cow, but ever since we've been on the road, she's not a fan of dogs. She's just not dog friendly.
You see how chilled out she is at the moment. As soon as you see a dog, if she sees a dog walk past now, her personality will just split, and she will just run and go straight at that dog if we didn't have her on the lead. So that's Rusty's personality. It's a very interesting one.
A lot of people don't expect that. They think, oh, Rusty, she's cute. Our dog will play with your dog. It's like, unfortunately, no. Rusty is, yeah.
Yeah. And it does come across very vicious, but if we were to let her off the lead, she would run up to the dog and then she'd freeze unless the other dog had a reaction. And so I don't know why she does it, but
I think
it's just territorial maybe, or just the breed. So
yeah, I think it's definitely a bit territorial. Being on the road now, the car and the caravan are her constant backyard. So you got your dog at home, that backyard, it's territory. Well, now the car and the caravan is Rusty's backyard, so it's her territory. So I think that's a big part of why she sort of, gives a bit of lip to the neighbourhood dogs when we're around. So keeping on topic with Rusty's personality, she's a very chill dog. You'll see by our videos, she's pretty placid. She's happy just to sit and chill. I think that's a lot to do with her age. She's over those, naughty years of chewing, running amok. Yes, she is full of energy and she likes to, go for a run and a walk, all that stuff, but she's a very chill dog. And anyone that meets Rusty will agree, she's a very chill dog.
Traveling with the dog is very dependent on your dog's personality. If your dog is a yapper, you will have a bit of trouble leaving her or leaving him or her for a short while, because if you leave her, she's just going to start yapping, and that will bother your neighbours, and then it all becomes a bit of a drama in that respect.
It just makes travelling with those sort of dogs more challenging. Not saying it's impossible.
It's just more challenging. Yeah.
It's more challenging with dogs like that. And we'll touch on maybe things you could possibly do to still travel with, but
yeah. And another one is if your dog's a puppy, that's going to be very challenging as well, because puppies are just full of energy. They always want to go, and if you're trying to confine her to a small space like this, that is also going to be challenging. You'll have to do more walks and stuff like that, but it is manageable. Everything is manageable with the dog. It's just how you go about it.
Yeah. So personality is one thing we tell people, asking us how is it traveling Australia with a dog. The second thing I tell people is your setup. Your setup will determine how easy and how hard it will be traveling with a dog. For example, the caravan makes us traveling with Rusty very easy. We've met people traveling with a dog with rooftop tents, swags, that sort of thing. Now, they're still traveling with a dog, but they're more restricted and it's harder because obviously you don't have a caravan.
And it's your choices that deems whether it's going to be easy or hard for you.
Yeah.
We find the caravan makes it easier. Rooftop tent, really hard. And also, you know, the size of the dog. How many dogs? Like, we know a couple of, you know, 5 dogs are traveling with, stuff like that. And the size of the dog, you know, if you've got a German Shepherd, it's going to be hard in a rooftop tent. I know I wouldn't want to be sleeping next to a German Shepherd in a rooftop tent, but, you know, that's what we're trying to get at, is you make it as hard or as easy as you want.
Yeah.
For us, caravan, boom, easy. For any dog, really. I mean, you start getting multiple dogs and, yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but still manageable.
Just get a bigger van with bunks.
Yeah, get bunks. They are like children. That's pretty much, you know, they are exactly like children. Not exactly, you know what I mean.
Another big factor to consider is your time frame. How long are you going to be away? Is it worth taking the dog? If you're just planning a 6-week trip, not saying not take the dog, but maybe your best option is to leave the dog with family and friends if you're only doing a small trip. For us, doing 18 months, that's a big trip. So, you know, there's no way I was going to kennel Rusty for 18 months or put her in, you know, let my parents look after her. So for us, that was a big reason why we took her. So it's something to think about. How long are you going to go away for? I mean, of course it's worth taking your dog, but like if you're restricted with time and you want to see like national parks and stuff, well then obviously it's going to be a lot easier without a dog. So just something to think about, really.
Now, on topic of national park, this is the most common question we get asked, is what do we do with Rusty when we want to go to a national park? Because you've obviously seen in our videos that we do go to national parks and enjoy that. We don't go to all of them, but that's the main question we get asked, and you know, here we are. Let's answer it.
So there's a national park we want to see. The first thing we look at is where could we possibly camp? Now, obviously, you're not allowed to camp in a national park, so where is the closest point to a national park we could possibly camp? So that's one thing that we look at, because then that determines the second question: how long will it take us to drive into that national park? Obviously, we like to see everything in a short window. We don't like to leave Rusty for a long time. 1 to 4 hours is our window we like to look at. So that's the second question: how far away are we going to camp, and then how long is it going to take to get into the national park? Which then leads on to the next question, is how long is it going to take to see what we want to see in a national park? Is it just a couple hundred meters to points of interest? Is the national park a 6-kilometer hike?
So what do we do with Rusty?
So what we do with Rusty is we'll generally go into a national park early in the morning or later in the afternoon. And before we go into a national park, Rusty gets a big walk. She gets a big walk. We take her for a good 1-hour walk. She does her business. We wear her out, that sort of thing. And then she's tired. She's a fur child. We've had her for 9 years, going on 10. She just goes to sleep.
Just like a child.
She goes to sleep. After she's had she's had a big walk, she is happy, more than happy, to go for a nap. And that might not be your dog, but that's our dog. That's Rusty. She loves to have a nap. So we'll pop her in the van. We'll put the fans on if it's hot. Obviously, if we're at a powered site, we'll have power.
Well, if you're going to the top end of Australia, the ambient temperature is hot no matter what bloody time of the year. So in the top end, we are very careful with Rusty.
Yeah.
And if it is somewhere where it is hot, what are you doing?
See? She's trying to have a nap now.
If it's somewhere where it's really hot, we will book a caravan park, and we will turn that air conditioning on for her with the fan as well, and perhaps a window in case the aircon, I don't know, decides to play funny buggers or there's a power cut or whatever. So she is not always in the heat.
No, we always keep an eye on the weather. We just want to make sure, enforce that. We don't condone animal cruelty, and we always make sure it's going to be a comfortable temperature. Rusty's comfortable. We leave her with a full water bowl of water. We leave her with treats. Sometimes we fill her Kong up. So she is more than comfortable in the van, and she can get off the bed. She sleeps on our bed. She's naughty. She knows she's not meant to, but we let her because we love her. So she'll nap on our bed while we're out.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't believe that leaving your dog in a caravan is classed as animal cruelty, because, and this is just our opinion on it. But no one's ever said it's cruel that what we're doing. But from an outsider's perspective, we believe that some people might have this idea in their head that it is cruel. But what we want to explain to you is look at it this way. You've got the caravan. The other option is a kennel.
Or a pet sitter, someone she doesn't know.
Or a pet sitter.
Yeah.
So kennels, she's going to be locked in a cage all day. She might get a couple of walks. She will be next to barking dogs. She'll be freaking the hell out because she doesn't know where she is.
She's stressed.
And that's maybe because she doesn't go in kennels. Yeah. So for her, it's unknown. She's going to be scared. If your dog is used to kennels, boom, you can travel Australia because there's a lot of kennels.
Yeah.
And that's great. And pet sitters, would you want to leave your dog with a pet sitter, or would you rather just leave her in the caravan? She is happy as Larry in the caravan because she knows that's her space.
Yeah, it's her backyard. She's comfortable. She just goes to sleep. Like, we know we keep saying that, but she's comfortable in the van.
Yeah. And every time we've left her, we've always come back and she's just normal.
She'll just raise her head off the bed. I'm on your back.
we'll open the door and she'll be like, oh, you're back. Oh, bugger, I was enjoying my nap. She's a little munchkin, eh? And so it's never been an issue, and that's why we will keep doing it. And she's never gone to the toilet and in the caravan.
Yeah, she's never gone to we always make sure we take her outside before we go, and then as soon as we get back, we take her out. And yes, she's never gone inside the caravan. But in saying that, if she did go inside the caravan, like, I wouldn't be mad at all because I would know that she would need it to go. So
yeah. I mean, it's funny. How's that fly, babe? It's funny, like, you probably, if you're on Facebook, you would have saw that picture go around not too long ago of a blue heeler scratching it through the door. I think we can put a picture here somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we're saying, not all dogs like being left in a caravan. Yeah. And if your dog is like that, you really need to stop and think about what's going on, because your dog's not happy. You've done something wrong.
Or it's too young, it's got too much energy.
It's too much energy, yeah. And that picture got a lot of hate because obviously it's cruel and all that stuff. But once again, back to the personality of your dog.
So that's what we do with Rusty when we visit national park. She just has a nap in our caravan. But obviously that's not for everyone, and so obviously there's lots of different services out there. If your dog's not comfortable or you're not comfortable leaving your dog by itself, there's plenty of pet sitters. You can take them to the vet. You pop into the local councils, they might tell you where the closest kennels are, stuff like that. So just because we don't put Rusty in any kennels or vets or get her looked after, that's just her and her personality. There's plenty of options out there if your dog's comfortable with strangers and it needs company, it can't be left by itself, those sort of things. So
friends and family. So at Kakadu, we left Rusty with my parents. And my parents looked after her for the day while we explored Kakadu.
A couple of
days, sorry.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at as well is if you meet someone on the road that have a dog, you can trade pet sitting days and stuff like that. So friends and family is a really good option as well.
Yeah, we've had people say, sometimes they miss their dog, so they're more than happy to pet sit your dog while you go into the national park. So it just pays to,
to chat.
Yeah, chat and talk to your neighbours and that sort of thing. Just, with us, we just don't like leaving her. I personally don't like leaving her with people that she doesn't know. So that's just me and Rusty. But that's not to say that's you and your dog. So, for us, Kurt's family, his parents in particular, have travelled with us, like you said.
And we had some friends as well in the past look after her.
Yeah, so his parents also did the Gib. So that's how we were able to go see Mitchell Falls as well. They watched Rusty while we went and saw Mitchell Falls. Yeah, so there's plenty of options out there. You just got to find what's best for you.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is high-risk areas and dangerous spots with Rusty and all of that revolving around that. Cape York and the Gib are the big ones where people are unsure about.
Yeah, I was just going to say the whole top half of Australia. Yeah, crocodile country.
Country and all that.
A lot of people are concerned with their travelling with dogs around those areas, and you need to be cautious.
Yeah, cautious, because what is out there? We have wildlife, so dingoes, snakes, anything that can do harm to Rusty. So you got to be careful with that. How you be careful against that? Don't leave your dog outside at night. Keep your dog elevated when she's sleeping. Try and keep her inside. If you're inside with her, just keep an eye on her. That's pretty much wildlife. That's what we do. We keep her inside. We keep her elevated. Don't leave food out, obviously, because that's what attracts dingoes in the first place. We got poison bait. Now, poison bait is a big one. There's a big debate about poison baits, whether it's good or bad for the environment. Poison bait is designed to kill off pests being wild dogs and stuff like that. And unfortunately, some dogs, pet dogs, will go out on their walks and they'll eat a bit and then they'll pass away, unfortunately. That is the era that we are in at the moment, so we have to deal with that. The best way to deal with that is, once again, keep her on the lead at all times and make sure you know what they're doing. Even if you're at a station, if you're at a station campground, you're taking your dog for a walk, be careful, because they drop these baits and they can land anywhere. Birds can pick them up, move them. You know, we hear stories of people going to stations and passing away from dog bait. So a way to prevent it as well is keeping you on the lead, but also a good muzzle. That way she can't eat anything. She can try and lick it, but a really good quality muzzle is good. But all we do is keep an eye on her.
Yeah, we keep her on the lead and we just keep an eye on her. I mean, we watch exactly where she's sniffing, where her head is, that sort of thing. We don't let her off, especially around croc country. It's just common sense, people. Like, yes, we camped on the edge of the Pentecost. You probably saw her in a Gibb River, but we kept Rusty a good distance away. And if she was outside, I was there watching her. And I mean, like, she had the shortest lead. She pull her, 10 meters from the bank, whatever, but short lead. I mean, it's just common sense. Don't let her run off and go down to the bank. I didn't even put her near the water at all. So yeah. I mean, you can still travel, of course, but yeah, just be aware. Be aware of where you are and what hazards are around. Touching on setups, obviously traveling with Rusty has made a lot more easier with our car setup. We did a little video really early on about her cage in the car. That has helped a lot.
Actually, this is a good topic.
It's helped a lot with traveling with Rusty. She's inside the car, so hot days, windows go up, she gets aircon. If we're going down a dusty road, same thing, windows go up, she gets, clean air.
Yeah, so originally when I built the cage in the back of the dual cab, my initial thought, like, I could have put a dog cage on the back. The problem with the dog cage is that as soon as we go off-road, that dust is just going to fly straight in that dog cage, and I just wasn't going to have it, not for Rusty, it's just bad, And so that was the main reason we put her in the back of the dual cab, because we can wind up the window and know that no dust is going to get into her. So that's actually a good thing when you're deciding on your setup.
Yeah, making sure that you've got somewhere comfortable for them. I mean, when we say comfortable, obviously, yes, sleeping arrangements. Are they going to sleep in a tent? But also, say you're popping through a town and you want to go to the pub for lunch, or you need to pop into Woolworths to get some groceries. What are you going to do with your dog? So for us, Rusty loves her kennel in the car, and that again is not an exaggeration. When it's time to go, she sits by her door. She knows that's her space. So she's more than happy to sit in her kennel for an hour. Obviously we park in the shade, all those sort of things, make sure it's not too hot, we've got the fan, but she's more than happy to sit in her kennel for an hour in the car while we duck off to the doctors or the chemist or anything like that we need to run errands around in town.
Yeah. And what we've found is you buy yourself a little thermometer if your car doesn't have one, and put that somewhere and keep an eye on the temperature. You don't want to overheat her on a hot day, because inside a car is completely different to the ambient temperature outside a car, so be very careful with that. What we have done, we've layered the top of the Navara's roof, and that actually, by layering the top of it, it's created another barrier of sun to try and get through and heat up the car.
The pod is what Kurt's talking about.
Yeah, the pod. Yeah. And I used to have a bit of timber there as well, but just layer something on top so it's another barrier. Also, obviously, you put the sun visor on.
Yep.
And that reflects, there's common sense with that one.
And she's got a water bowl, food bowl in her cage. She's got a nice comfy bed.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the van. She literally just curls up and goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So.
And we do have the Milwaukee fan as well that we blow on her, so she gets constant airflow in there.
But again, we do not leave her if it is hot. One of us will go while the other one sits in the car with the aircon running. We're just saying,
It's common sense.
Yeah,
if it's too hot, then it's too hot, you know. Someone's got to stay with Rusty.
Yeah. We love Rusty. She is our fur child. We would not do anything that would harm her.
Yeah. Stuart, our Patreon, he brought up...
that we did not mention Rusty's...
dental bill in
Darwin when she got a couple of teeth out. That was a semi-big bill. I think it was about $800.
Yeah, but it wasn't unexpected because before we left, we took Rusty into the vet and we knew she had we call it a manky tooth.
Yeah, the vet warned her, said, look, she's going to probably need this tooth out at some point. And at that point, she said, look, you can, just keep an eye on it, and when you're going around Australia, the vet will tell you when it needs to come out. And when we were in Darwin, the vet said, hey, it's time. So it wasn't so much an unexpected bill. It was a high bill, but it wasn't unexpected.
As well, touching on topics like incidents and vets and stuff like that, is it viable to have pet insurance, Amy?
Yes. So when we took off for our lap, Rusty growing up, she never had pet insurance, but obviously there's more chances and more things on the road that could hurt her than suburbia backyard. So I took out pet insurance for her, and obviously her increasing age as well. So we got RSPCA pet insurance. I think we pay $30 a fortnight. So if anything major happens,
she's covered.
She's covered. So we got a little bit of money back from her dental bill. Not all of it, but we did get some back from her pet insurance.
But travelling Australia has been very safe for Rusty.
So Rusty has had an eventful 2 years travelling around Australia. She's been on the Spirit of Tasmania. She's had two aeroplane rides when we worked FIFO. I don't know if a lot of people know, but we sent her back home. So she had a holiday from Perth back to Brisbane. She got sent back to mum and dad's place, and she spent a couple of weeks in the backyard with Taz, reunited. So she had a holiday. So she's had 2 plane rides. She's been on a couple of small ferries, like the Bruny Island ferry, little ferries like that. She has also, unfortunately, been attacked. So when we talk about Rusty's personality towards other dogs, that has been a downfall. She got into a bit of a kerfuffle with one of the station dogs when we were working out there. She did come off second best. She went up against, what was the breed of the dog, Kurt?
It was an American Pit Bull.
Yeah, the American Pit Bull. Not saying that Rusty was in the right or the wrong, but she came off second best. She's had a skerfuffle, and that was a pretty full-on experience. Kurt was away and I was the only one there on the station, so that was definitely it's something I don't like to relive, something you don't really want to see. But from there, we did first aid to her. She was okay, but a week later her puncture wounds where the dog had bitten her got infected, so we had to take her to Alice Springs and get that sorted, some antibiotics and stuff. And I mean, she's fine now, and it's just a part of Rusty's story, but just another example of dangers out there.
It's not all fairy tales out here. There are dangers, and Rusty's been put through one.
Alright guys, so I think that sort of wraps it up. We've briefly touched on, I think, the hot topics on what we do with Rusty and how we manage her, that sort of thing.
I definitely think we're going to have to make another video on travelling with the dog, because there's still a lot of questions out there that need to be answered. And if we haven't answered your question in this video, please let us know in the comments, and we'll respond to you in the comments, but we'll use that in the next video to help everyone else out along the way in that respect. If you liked this video and you're still loving the podcast, remember to give us a like. It helps us out heaps, and it also lets us know that we are helping people out with these podcasts, and we will continue them. But I hope you guys enjoy, and get on the road.
I think it's time for Kurt to go throw the roast on, having a pork roast for dinner.
On the rotisserie.
All right, thanks guys, see ya.
Cheers, legends. Hey. She's bloody trying to eat a bee.
I know. Try again.
She's a nutcase.
아주 귀여워. I know. You're so cool, Alexa. Everyone loves niggas. Everyone loves a niggas. Everyone loves a niggas. Everyone loves a niggas.
Start a show.
And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good.